Good morning, Dons. Hope you're having a great day. Today is Thursday, October 12th, and I'm Mateo.
And I'm Anjali. We're AVtv hosts for the 8th show of the 2023 to 2024 school year.
And we have a special show this week. It's almost homecoming.
That's right. We have so much information for you, so let's get started. This weekend is the homecoming dance. We get so many questions on what you're allowed to bring and when you're allowed to leave. So we had AVtv reporter Max put together a segment to answer everyone's questions. Let's check it out.
For those who are new to homecoming or needing a refresher, here's a guide to what to expect for the event. If you bought a guest ticket, you need to enter with that guest. Guests will be under the Amador student's account who bought the ticket. They will show up when the ID card is scanned. Guests should still bring their current student ID and the guest form with the ticket stapled to the front of it. School staff have the right to search any bag or belongings to make sure there is nothing unsafe, including weapons or anything that can be used as a weapon. The dance is held on the blacktop by the portables, and students won't be allowed to any other part of the school during the night. Gates open at 7, and no one else will be allowed in past 8. There will be food trucks to bring cash for food and drinks. For any questions, reach out to the administration in the activities office.
It always feels eerie at night on campus, and every time I walk by the D building after practice, I always see the lights flickering.
It's not just you and Jolly. It scares me too. And that's why we have a spooky segment that we took from the vault about all the ghosts around Amador. Let's check it out.
Back in the mid-1880s, the area that is now Pleasanton was called Alisal, a town nicknamed the most desperate town in the West. It was the haunt and refuge of bandits and desperados in the era following the beginning of the California Gold Rush. Main Street shootouts were not uncommon. Outlaws would often ambush prospectors on their way back from the Gold Rush fields and then seek refuge in Alisal. This was the town that eventually became Pleasanton, California. In 1864, a one-room school was established. Though the school was eventually expanded, education in Pleasanton ended in the 8th grade until March of 1922, when Pleasanton residents voted to establish Amador Valley Joint Union High School. Much of the original Amador Valley High School campus buildings were demolished in 1968, making room to expand the campus, and many of those buildings are still here today, including the haunted D building. This campus does get spooky at night, especially for the people who remain here, alone. No one knows exactly who or what haunts this building, but teachers and custodians have experienced the ghosts that haunt this building over many years here at Amador.
So I'm in the D building, and sometimes when it's really dark and late at night and there's no one else in the building, I will be sitting at my desk working on my computer, and I'll see someone walk past the back door when it's open, and nobody's in the building. I go to investigate, nobody's there. And sometimes I'll even set off the light, because if there's a motion detector, it'll turn on. So obviously no one walked by because the light would have gotten turned on. And it happened a lot. It still happens if I'm here late. And one time during class, a poster, it was a framed poster, was leaning against the wall on top of a cabinet. It fell down, but instead of knocking out everything that was sitting in front of it, it didn't. It kind of leapt over everything to fall, because it would have knocked everything off in front of it, but it didn't. So it was quite creepy. The whole class was a little weirded out that day.
Now, Miss Barnett wasn't the only person to see the ghosts at school. Mr. Hall told us a story too. He said one night he was working really late at school, and the head custodian at the time came in and told him that the night custodian refused to ever clean the D building again. When Mr. Hall asked him why, he said it was because the night before, the custodian was standing in the walkway near the C building when he saw a person walk from Mr. Hansen's room into Mr. Hall's room. When he came over to see what the person was doing in the classroom there was no one there. He had just vanished. Well, Dons, there's obviously some really weird stuff going on around here at night when we're all gone. We hope you've enjoyed the Pleasanton's Haunted History series, and we hope you have a happy Halloween. Back to you in the studio.
We here at AVtv would like to congratulate our varsity football team on the big win against Doherty Valley last Friday. Remember to continue to get decked out and support our teams.
Especially the next week, the AV Game of the Week. This game is not only senior night for the girls volleyball team, but it's also a big match against the crosstown rivals Foothill.
Right now, Amador and Foothill have a 1-1 record this season, so the Dons are looking to show their dominance.
And that means they're going to need our support. So let's all get decked out and meet at the large gym at 6:30 on Tuesday night to support the girls volleyball team.
Now we have another announcement.
Tomorrow's the homecoming rally, so make sure to follow the rally schedule.
Get excited for all the fun leadership is planned during the rally, including announcing the homecoming nominations.
Not only is homecoming this weekend, but this Friday before the varsity football game is the Amador Valley's very own tailgating event.
That sounds really fun. Let's check it out. Now let's go to leadership for an announcement.
Hey Dons, it's Sydney from Leadership with a few updates to end the week. So our last day of homecoming ticket sales is today after school, so make sure you buy a ticket if you haven't bought one yet, and it'll be $65 with ASB, $75 without. Also, to get into the dance, you need to make sure you bring your own ID card. If you have a guest, the guest has to bring an ID card. You also have to bring like the receipt or the paperwork for your guest ID as well. And your guest has to walk in with you in order to get your guest inside the dance. And lastly, tomorrow's the neon out day for the football game and at school, so make sure you wear as much neon as possible. Thanks. And about the rally tomorrow, homecoming court will be announced there, and then homecoming royalty will be announced at the game. So be sure to go to both of those to see your friends win. Thanks.
It's that time of year again where we all rewatch our favorite scary movies that we loved as kids.
Some Halloween movies are too good for us to forget, so we sent out our AVT reporters to find the 5 most timeless Halloween movies. Let's check it out.
With Halloween approaching, we always come back to these 5 Halloween movies that will always have a special place for in our hearts. The top 5 movies that made our list are Hocus Pocus, Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin, Halloween Town, Ghostbusters, and Nightmare Before Christmas. Based on the votes from Amador students, the movie that came on top was Charlie Brown, It's the Great Pumpkin. This movie is enjoyed by people of all ages and generations, as it's such a simple movie that entertains all. Directed by Bill Melendez, this movie begins with a notable character, Linus, who sets out to prove to the other characters that the Great Pumpkin creeps within the pumpkin patch, while the rest of the Peanut Gang are participating in Halloween festivities. This movie is nostalgic for many, and the iconic Peanut Gang brings audiences back in. With a close second being A Nightmare Before Christmas, this movie's amazing animations and script makes it a fan favorite. This story starts off with Jack Skellington from Halloween Town getting tired of his old routine of scaring people in the real world when he stumbles upon Christmas. Jack decides it's not up to his standards and wants to take over Christmas. The fun elements of the movie and the detailed animations keeps fans coming back every year. Hocus Pocus was the third choice. When Max moves to Salem, he decides to explore an abandoned house with his sister and a friend when they accidentally release 3 witches. The 3 frantically try to hide their witches' spell books to keep them from turning immortal. The movie is a funny classic that a whole family can watch. Ghostbusters is another classic family favorite. The movie is set in New York City and it's about a team of scientists, Harold, Dan, and Bill. After they lose their job, they've stumbled upon a portal to another world, and in exchange for protecting and saving New York City, the Ghostbusters would receive money. The suspense, excitement, and fear keeps viewers coming back, making this a classic. Lastly, we have Halloween Town. It's full of magic, witches, and lessons that younger kids may not have initially caught, which keeps the audience hooked and engaged in the storyline. The movie follows Marnie and her kids, who find out that they came from a long line of witches. They're all shocked to find out, and even more shocked to discover Marnie's a witch herself, and her family is facing a fight against the evil. This has been Audrey Coombs with AVtv News.
Dons, don't forget how important it is to stay connected. You can find out everything going on around campus by going to amadorvalleytoday.org or follow us on @avhsinfo on Instagram.
In addition, don't forget the leadership Instagram at AVHS Dons, where you can find all the Spirit Weeks and other ASB activities going on around campus. Don't forget to get the new edition of the Amadon during lunch tomorrow in the quad, or pick up a copy at the Hoco tailgate.
Well, that's all we have for today. Make sure you hang around for today's birthday grams and check back in with us next Thursday for more news, announcements, and profiles. Thanks for joining us, and remember, Dons, it's always a beautiful day here at Amador.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day.